All right, good morning, traders. Today is September 15th, 2023. My name is John Carrigan. I moderate the BYOB trading room. So my SPY pivot this morning is 449.10. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. SPY, QQQ, and FNGU remain in their new daily uptrends, the same ones they started a couple weeks ago. Diamond Dow is in a 2-hour uptrend, while IWM is still trying to break its 4-hour downtrend. USO and the US dollar index continue to grind higher in their daily chart uptrends. Natural gas, UNG, SLV, and GLD, that's silver and gold, are still in daily downtrends, consolidating. SPY begins at the third price advancement candle of the 3-day chart MMRP today. Yesterday was a beautiful day as SPY closed out the second price advancement candle with a higher high than the previous 3-day chart candle. SPY price action staying true to the pattern and offering up a trend day pattern as well on the 10-minute chart. So we got a 2 for yesterday. Let's go look at some charts. All right, let's take a look at the SPY here. All right, so here's yesterday's price action coming up to this downtrend line, and I'll zoom out. That downtrend line starts at the beginning, at the high of the year, right up there. Starts up there and connects this peak right here. So we're coming into it right now. So yesterday's price action, you got a higher low, gap up, and a higher high. Nice work there. Now notice they came up close to it. Not sure if they want to go through it. Sometimes when they come up close to it by a couple pennies or something like that, they usually want to go through it. That means it's not the target, and the target is much higher, which could be this high up here of 453.57. We'll see. So here's our SPY pivot, 449.10. Already got that red line in there. If you look at SPY on the daily chart, here we got higher low down here, higher high, another higher low. And the bulls are working on another higher high. And that's what all we ask them to do is just keep working on that higher high. So here's SPY trying to make the higher high here. And that's the bull's job to do that. So there we go with SPY. So let's go take a look at QQQ. So here's QQQ. All right, so here is the pullback for QQQ. Makes a high low. Makes a higher high, got another higher low, pressure on the bulls to produce that higher high. So here we are trading up over the midpoint of the pullback. That's a good sign that the bulls have taken control of the price action. Still trying to pierce this downtrend line. Notice we pierced it here, and looks like we're going to break through. So here's the price action for yesterday. Is that yesterday? Yeah, that's yesterday. Higher low and a higher high. So good work on QQQ. So let's look at FNGU. So here's FNGU, and a daily chart for FNGU produces a, well, not quite a higher high, but a higher low and a lower high. So we've got a little bit of consolidation going on there in FNGU. Now FNGU also in a new daily uptrend. You can see this was the daily uptrend it was in, had a pullback. Now it's starting a new daily uptrend. All right, so we got a higher low right here, and got a higher high right there. Another higher low right here. And we're looking for the bulls to produce that higher high. Now they got up here, and they stalled out at the highs over here. So they're trying to rally back up. We'll grind away at that overhead supply and work on producing that higher high. So there's FNGU. Now let's take a look at IWM. All right, so here's IWM bouncing off the support line. All right, yesterday's candle provides a higher low but a equal high. So IWM still stuck in this pattern. 4-hour downtrend for IWM. And unfortunately, we haven't made, here's the IWM's last move. This is a higher low here. Still trying to produce a higher high. And you see we got up here, we produced a lower high. So we got a lower high and a higher low. So this is going through some consolidation. So the Bulls' job is to break this downtrend, and the Bears' job is to break this support line. So there's IWM. So we'll see what they're going to do, but looks like a whole lot more of consolidation in this triangle. That's kind of playing out from this high up here. So we're moving over to the right, IWM. Let's go take a look at Diamond Dow. All right, so here's Diamond Dow. Yesterday, making a nice candle, kind of poking out of the downtrend line right here. Very nice. Higher low, higher high. Nice work on Diamond Dow. Up over the midpoint of this pullback. Bull's job here is to produce the higher high. We'll see if they can get it done. All right. They still have not produced a higher high. They did produce a higher low, but still no higher high yet. So they're working on that. Don't know if they ran out of gas or if they plan on continuing it today or next week. We'll see what happens here. There's Diamond Dow. Now let's go take a look at SMH. Here's our semiconductors. Working on another triangle here. Bears need to break this uptrend. Bulls need to break the downtrend. We are in a big bullish sloppy flag right there. So SMH has fallen underneath the trend indicator, and you can see yesterday's price action here. Higher low and a lower high. So we got a higher low and a lower high, so a whole lot more consolidation. Trying to climb back into this triangle area. It's possible the Bears really want to break it, but let me just say this. Price below 148 looks very bearish to me. So we'll see what happens there as SMH consolidates. I think they're going to climb back in and fill this gap and start working on that downtrend line right there. We'll see what happens. But I do see candles inching their way. See their lows? If you look at these candles, they're kind of inching their way up higher. See, here's our low, and then we kind of inched up there, and we held that area. Now we came up to here, and then we moved up to here, and now we're moving up to here. So I think there's a possibility they climb back into this triangle and start working on the gap fill, and then possibly the downtrend line right there. So still stuck underneath the 17 EMA, just consolidating here with a lower high and a higher low. So it's nothing really to report yet other than it's just consolidating. Let's take a look at the financials. This XLF. XLF is getting it done. Notice here we are breaking out. Let's take the daily chart. Okay. Here's the daily chart. So we're breaking out of the downtrend line. Bulls doing it right. All right. So here's the piercing or the spike of the downtrend line, and then we close the full candle right there over the downtrend line, and now you can see we've got follow through with the price action, and they take out the spike tail right there. Huge sign for XLF. That's very bullish. And now they're working into the major resistance overhead. So nice move for XLF, breaking the downtrend line here. And maintaining price average up over the midpoint. That's very good. So here's the breakdown from the highs here, the most recent highs. And you can see here's the pullback. And here's the bulls. And it took them a while. It started back in March. Here we are in September, and they're finally managing to keep price up over the midpoint. So good sign here in XLF. So financials are looking really good today. SMH, not so much. Got a little bit of good news there, inching up higher lows. Let's take a look at the transports. And the transports have a daily candle with a higher low and a higher high, but still stuck at the midpoint here. We'll see if they can hold it in there, break this downtrend line. So IYT transports in a daily downtrend. Right there, we've got a lower high and a lower low. So daily downtrend in IYT, that's a transport. So bulls need to break this downtrend. That's their job. They've done well to hold it up over here, all while the market was breaking down. But they still need to break this downtrend and start making higher highs. A lot of work to do here in the IYT. Not looking good. So we got the SMH is in our favor, kind of. And then the financials, they're in our favor. All right, they're looking really good. And FNGU, that's also looking good. We'll go back to that one. So here's FNGU, just kind of grinding back up, making higher lows and higher highs. So that's what we asked for it to do. Just got to break out and make another higher high here. Then start working on this neckline right there. So if we can get the big caps on the right page, and we can get the transports turned around, you know, we can have maybe two of the three. You got big caps working out good, but IWM, you know, they're going to need the transports. They got the financials. They're working in the right direction. The SMH is working in the right direction. The only thing left is the transports, and hopefully they can find a bottom there on support, at least for the year. Hopefully finish out the year with a nice run. We'll see what happens. There's IWM. So let's look at our indicators. All right, so here's our indicators. This is yesterday's price action. All right, so you notice yesterday's price action. We flew out of the sell zone into the buy zone. It's like we got on a plane and we just navigated across the two dangerous territories here. This is the chop zone. So we flew from the sell zone all the way up to the buy zone. Huge sign. And when we got there, we started making higher lows and higher highs right there. So nice work on the T2122. So could be an indication that IWM could be bouncing here soon. We'll see what happens. T2123. Green all day. Very nice. And what does T21 represent? Same thing right there. Just pulled up all day long, stayed up here in the buy zone for the most part. And of course, T2123 15-minute, looking good. Says the same thing. We like that. T2123. We got the price action closing in on the trend indicator. Still red. Still a little bit more work to do before we say the bulls are back. But they're working on the closing price here. Need to change that trend indicator ball green. So they got to move it up quite a bit. It's all got to come out of the IWM for the most part. So need that IWM to get turned around, and we're going to need a little bit of help from the transports to get that done, I think. And our FNGU indicator, nice day, a little sell off, a little buying up through here, and then a little sell off at the end of the day. So for the most part, if you look at, here's VWAPs, that gold line right here. So you can see for the most part of the day, price action stayed over VWAP. That's a very good sign. That means there's more buyers hitting the ask than there are sellers hitting the bid. So that was a very good sign. And you notice we came from down here, moved up. That makes it a bull flag right there. So that's looking good. And they held price right up there till the end of the day. That's bullish going into this morning. So we'll see what happens. I already see a little bit of gapping down, but I don't think that'll last long. I think price wants to climb up and climb over that downtrend line and SPY and QQQ. We'll see what happens. That's the FNGU, all right? So let's take a look at the dollar index. And let's take a look at DXY. Let me go find it here. There we go. All right, so here's DXY. This is the US dollar index. And that's a 15-minute. Let's change it to a daily. Oh, it's going to do that thing again. All right, we can work with that. All right, here's a picture of our US dollar. Now, the stronger the dollar gets, is bad news for the markets, because it just makes our goods and services more expensive in the global economy. So it's going to hurt GDP coming into the upcoming quarters with an expensive dollar, because then the conversion rate, or it's going to cost other countries more money in order to buy our goods and services. So as the dollar climbs from 104.50 area, 104, now it's working on 105.50 as it did yesterday. So not a good sign for the dollar. We really need this to come down. But, dollar's gaining strength there. Too bad inflation is not showing any sign of it, but we'll see what happens. But there's the US dollar grinding its way back up higher. So we'll take a look at Max Payne for today, because it's options expiration Friday. We got 2-to-1 put to call ratio, and Max Payne is at 440. I don't think they're going to get anywhere near 440 today. That would be a sight to see if they do. I think they're probably going to do more of a short squeeze and squeeze these puts, because we got 2-to-1. It's probably be more profitable for them to do that than to go after Max Payne. And let's take a look at the economic calendar. And today we have, that's next week, isn't it? Let's change the time zone. Go back to the 15th. All right, so here's what we got this morning. We've got Empire State Manufacturing Index at 8:30. We've got import-export prices at 8:30. We've got industrial production at 9:15, and consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock. Now, we just had retail. I know we had retail because Ed posted it. Here it is right here, retail sales yesterday. So I don't think it's going to change too much. Consumer sentiment should reflect whatever retail sales says. We'll see what happens. We'll look for see if they're going to say the same thing. But that's for on the calendar for today. Now, for next week, let's look at this. All right. Monday, really kind of quiet. Housing market index at 10. All right. Tuesday, housing starts 8:30. All right. Wednesday's the big one. All right. We got an FOMC announcement at 2 p.m. and then they're going to have a little press conference at 2:30. So that's the big day. So this is the market going into an FOMC announcement. And remember, CPI didn't look that great last week or this week. So, I would expect a rate hike. I don't know what they're going to do, but I know oil and gas is I know oil's moving up, not gas, but oil's moving up pretty nice. So, I don't know if they're going to give us a rate hike or not, but I would suspect that they would. Now, I don't know if the market's going to plan for it, if it's already priced in. I kind of don't think it is, but we'll see what happens. So there's some economic calendar. Adobe reported last night they did beat on some revenue, but I think some of maybe on profit, they couldn't quite get it done. But anyways, they gapped down, so that was not good for the market. And let's go take a look at USO. So here's crude oil. Oh, it's not what I wanted. let's go back over here. And let's go look at USO. All right, so here's oil. And just like the 5+5 says, you know, here's the uptrend, little pullback, making the higher low. And oil gapped up yesterday, made a higher low and a higher high. Whole lot of space between this candle and the previous candle. So USO on fire this week. Look at this move for this week. Here's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and now Friday. So oil just jumping and popping all week. USO, crude oil. UNG, not quite the same story. We did have six green candles in a row. We did close up over the midpoint here of the big bear flag that it's in. It's still stuck in this consolidation area between 6 and 8. So here's the hockey stick down, and then here is the flag right there. So just a big bear flag that's going on long. So there's UNG, silver. All right, silver just consolidating here to the right in a daily downtrend, sitting on support right now. And I know I got that somewhere. There we go. So there's support lines right there. So we'll see if that's going to bounce back up to the other side or possibly test this downtrend line. We'll see what happens with silver, currently in a daily downtrend. All right, and gold. Gold just consolidating here. Here's the move up, now consolidating. It's been consolidating since April, about the same time as natural gas. So eventually something's going to break loose here pretty soon. Either support's going to break or this uptrend's going to break, and they'll start moving gold up. Now, in order for gold to go up, I would think we're going to need the dollar to come down. So I don't know how we're going to get the dollar down, but we're going to need the dollar to come down to get gold up. So we'll see what happens. All right, everybody out there in YouTube trader land, I want to thank you for listening to my videos. Please subscribe. If you like the video, please hit the thumbs up. We are having an open house. Oh, big news. Open house next week. All week. All 3 trading rooms. BYOB trading, right way options, and hit and run candlesticks. So you guys can get into all 3 rooms next week. We're having the open house. I want to thank all my members in the BYOB trading room ahead of time, because we're going to have a lot of people in here. And I want to thank you for bearing with us while we go through this, trying to expand our company and bring in more members and more memberships so we can do more stuff. So we'll be going through an open house all next week. Now look at it as a good thing, because all these new traders coming in will be asking a lot of new questions that you already know the answers to. And if you don't, you'll be able to learn from their questions. And on top of that, if you do know the material, it'll be a review for you. So while they're in here next week, let's make them feel at home. And I'm going to try to get some memberships sold and maybe some trials. We'll see what happens. But that's what's coming up next week. So big surprise. Open house, all 3 rooms, all week, next week. Should be an exciting week. All right, traders, I'm going to sign off for right now. I'll see everybody at 4 p.m.